I've been out of the general rental side for a while. I had gone over to Greco, which is obviously a much more specialty-focused business, power, temperature control. Been there for 8 years after having spent 10 at United, really from almost the beginning, 1998.
Oh, wow.
And so over at Greco, running basically North America, UK, Europe, and Australia. Enjoying myself, traveling the world, and having to figure out what time zone it is. Thank God for iPhones. I can just make sure I don't call somebody in the middle of the night. And just got a call about BlueLine, and knew the business, knew of the business, and did my due diligence, and obviously they did theirs, and got really excited. The business reminds me a lot of URI back in the late '90s, early 2000s. After we had bought a bunch of businesses already, we had a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but we just hadn't put the puzzle together at that time. Same sort of thing here. This is a business that started out in 2001 as a Volvo franchise operation, with Volvo wanting to get into the rental game. They built out quite a big network, over 120 locations at that time. And they bought them all back in the late 2000s, did some M&A as well, tried to make a go of it as its own company, and ultimately decided to sell it off. So they sold it to Platinum Equity in 2014. And what I see here is a business that, great underlying network, 140 locations, a couple thousand people. I was just at a conference that we had of 650 people, our sales guys and our managers. That was like week 3. Hadn't been my plan. It was on the docket, but we made the best of it. And what was amazing was in our kickoff, I said, how many of you been here a year or less? And half the room. But how many of you have 10 years or more of industry experience? Half the room. So really neat opportunity. Great clay here to mold. You have to be focused on building out market clusters, and where bigger is better means by market, market by market. We have a hyper-localized market approach that we're taking, and we're looking to build out our network cluster by cluster, because that's when you get the real proficiency and the efficiency in this business, is when you can share equipment, share people, leverage a customer for multiple delivery points. And we've got a few markets like that where we can be in the top 1 or 2 in that market if we put the right resources and focus on it. All the independents that are here at the conference, they don't open up a location in California and then open up one in Michigan. Right? They open up locations within a reasonable proximity of each other to build out their network. And one of the things I like to say to the team is, at BlueLine, we've got the heart of an independent. Even though we're the 4th largest, we're a business, because of its heritage, really has an opportunity to use what makes a independent so successful. That hyper-local strategy, that speed to the customer, that extra care that you need to take, and that quick decision making. As you get bigger, quite often you run into the problem of more bureaucracy and slower decision making. I'm putting a premium on speed, and that's one of the things that in our first 6 weeks we've done a lot of. We're making decisions that are sensible decisions, but we're making them quickly. At its core, it's a simple business, the rental business, and that's why I love it. I look up now, I've been in it almost 2 decades, and what keeps me coming back is how profitable it can be and how simple it is at its ultimate core and execution. So that heart of an independent is something that we're going to really focus on at BlueLine, and we've already kicked it off here in the first 6 weeks. So coming in and diagnosing the issues, one of the first things I realized is the business didn't have an identity. It was still thinking of itself as BlueLine, formerly Volvo Rents. And nobody wants to be formally anything. There's nothing wrong with it. I think Volvo's a great organization, and if it wasn't for them, the business wouldn't exist today. But the business needs its own identity. And so one of the first things I did with the team in Vegas in that 3rd week was start to focus on what that identity is. And for us, it's going to be all about fast, safe, and reliable. Those 3 words I keep saying to the team. We're going to be the fastest, safest, most reliable rental company in the industry. Why those 3? 100% our control. Every one of those things is something we control every single day. So that speed to the customer, that safe focus every day, and that reliability. Not just reliability from an equipment sense, but reliability as a teammate. So fast, safe, and reliable, and BlueLine now is BlueLine. It's not BlueLine formerly anybody. it's around safety. You know, if you think about it, we've got a lot of people in our business, whether it's, you know, back when I was at United or being at a Greco or here, and they're doing a lot of things that could have some innate risk, whether that's driving, whether that's working on a piece of machinery that has something that could be dangerous on it, whether that's going up in a boom, whether that's moving a piece of equipment with a forklift in a yard. You know, any one of those things, if not done properly, could be very dangerous. And for me, that's it. You know, it's making sure that we've got the right safety procedures and keep safety front of mind for our people all the time, not some of the time, but all the time. Because ultimately, that's, as a person who runs a business, the one thing that you really don't want to ever have to do if somebody gets really hurt.